Sin City. Saturday night. Fight night. Any given weekend, this place is the entertainment capital of the world. When combat sports shines brightest on the Las Vegas Strip. Boxing and mixed martial arts need some new voices. And Franchise Sports Media got them for you. Join Kalani Lua and Griff and Kemp each week as they bring you news and hot takes from inside the octagon and the ring. Get your popcorn ready. It's showtime. FSM's main event starts right now.
What's going on, fight fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media. I'm Kalani Lua.
I'm Griff and Kemp.
Boy, oh boy, Griff, do we got a good one lined up. We're going to cross the pond for this one. UFC 286 going down this weekend. Check the time zones. But UFC 286 going down, the trilogy. We're going to find out.
Some things are going to come out.
The former champion Kamaru Usman looking to possibly regain the throne for the man that took it headshot dead. Leon Rocky Edwards for the Welterweight Championship. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Oof, man, this is ever since last year in 2022 when you and I were sitting in that B-dubs, shook, stunned,
Yes.
absolutely flabbergasted over what we were just seeing.
For about 10 minutes, I was like this. Couldn't believe what we saw.
The whole restaurant was going crazy. At the same time, there were a few people just like us who were just in shock because they couldn't believe what they saw.
Absolutely
And
insane.
so now we're here. The third fight between these men. The first one happening back early in their careers. Barely anybody remembers. Barely anybody saw it. And then the second one, as iconic as it was, this third fight, it's got to get all the hype in the world. It deserves all the build-up, the hype, the anticipation in the world. Because, boy, there's going to be some blood in this octagon.
You would expect that when these two first fought back in 2015, two up-and-coming prospects, two up-and-coming UFC fighters. You saw the skill set. You knew that Kamaru Usman, the strong fighter with the wrestling background, okay, he's going to look to grapple. Leon, the kickboxer, the stand-up guy, okay, the traditional grappler versus striker. Usman gets the victory, okay. But then they both go on a tear. Leon Edwards ripped off 10 straight victories. Kamaru Usman, 300 straight wins in the UFC before he lost? Something crazy like that.
Greatest run in welterweight history.
Well,
Debatable, but one of the greatest
like
runs.
I would say I won't necessarily disagree, but I believe there's a guy from Montreal that might say, hold up now. But anyways, but then they go back, and like you said in the rematch, it's like, okay, you got this long-standing dominant champion in Kamaru Usman running through everybody. Kobe Covington, Jorge Masvidal, Gilbert Burns, Tyrone Woodley to get the title. Does not matter. He's beating them hand over fist. Was kind of giving it to Leon Edwards. Now, Leon did something we hadn't expected. Got to take down the first fight.
Yeah.
First time Kamaru ever got taken down.
First round, got that takedown.
And then, Griff, what happened at the end of the fourth round going into the fifth? What happened?
Oh my goodness. One of the most cinematic moments we've ever seen in a professional sports setting. We had the coach with that rough British voice come on, just screaming at his fighter.
Come on, Leon.
Come on, Leon.
Get him. You're losing about him.
What's the matter with you? He's just going off on him, and you could see the defeat in Leon Edwards' face, and then goes out, and we all know what happened in the fifth round in the final minute, 58 seconds left. Oh, my goodness.
10 seconds left. It was a scene out of Rocky, out of Rudy. You couldn't write it any better, but it really was a cinematic moment where, like you said, Leon looks defeated. Now, he's done interviews since then saying that he wasn't necessarily feeling defeated, but more so disappointed in his performance. They were in Denver.
They were Utah.
Excuse me. I forgot that's your neck of the woods right there.
Hometown.
But the high altitude definitely got to him. We've seen that happen to Cain Velasquez and other fighters who are known for their cardio. They go to high altitude places to fight. It doesn't end up working out. They end up getting gassed. Disappointing. He got the takedown, won round one. Usman takes 2, 3, and 4 pretty easily.
Dominant, and he's just getting on him all rounds. It didn't look good.
He was winning the fifth round for about 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Then, boom! Left head kick, put Kamaru Usman out. Great comeback, one of the greatest comebacks in UFC history. Now you're going to London. This is where Leon Edwards is from.
Yep.
Do you think being home is an advantage or disadvantage for the champion?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely got to be an advantage. I mean, when you got a guy in Leon Edwards who just became the only, I believe he's only the second British UFC champion in history.
Michael Bisping,
Michael Bisping was the first. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, being able to give not just Leon Edwards, but everyone in the UK the opportunity for Leon to fight for the title in his hometown after the accomplishment he did in that second fight with Usman. I mean, it's well deserved, and it's everything, you know, we want to see, because going into this fight, there's still people out here that still think Leon doesn't have what it takes to get that done for a third time. There's people out here saying that was a fluke. That was a lucky shot. I mean, all the things in the world against him. But hey, he was just there.
Are they wrong for thinking that though?
What is like, are they wrong?
Are they wrong for thinking that? Leon Edwards is a tremendous fighter, dude. They fought twice. He's been dominated for 5 rounds plus 3. 8 rounds.
I mean, who hasn't been dominated by Usman in the welterweight division? He did the same thing to Covington. He did the same thing to Masvidal. He did it to Gilbert Burns. And I mean, the reason I'm not gonna look down on Edwards the way I did, and I will be honest, I was absolutely down that.
A lot of us did. A lot of us did. And rightfully so. Kamaru Usman was on a run we hadn't seen since GSP, so nobody was really wrong for picking Usman to win, as he showed most of the fight why it was the correct move.
Yes.
But 10 seconds with one kick, all I'm saying is I could see why people feel Leon Edwards got lucky on that one. He got lucky on the shot.
You could see it as being lucky. But at the same time, and that's what's cool about this fight too, is these two fighters in their career paths. You got them meeting very early in their careers. I believe it was the first fight Usman had after winning the Ultimate Fighter.
Second.
It was the second fight.
Second UFC fight.
Second UFC fight. And after that point, they go on their own individual runs, where it's fantastic. Like you said, a 9-fight win streak for Leon Edwards. Kamaru Usman goes on a complete tear of the welterweight division. Complete. But at the same time, they're also Usman during that run, he's getting obviously all the praise. He was ranked #1 pound for pound going into that fight. He was looked at. There was debates whether he's not just the great at welterweight, but the greatest of the UFC's ever had. And then at the same time, Leon Edwards, despite being on a 9-fight win streak, just all the disrespect you could get. I mean, they were getting a single ounce of respect on this man's name.
No, none whatsoever. He was on a streak. And beating guys like Nate Diaz and others in the welterweight division who had reputable resumes.
Yeah.
But it definitely felt like out of sight, out of mind. Remember, he was supposed to fight Tyrone Woodley for the title.
Yep.
But then the pandemic happened, COVID-19.
Yep.
So now he gets stuck over in the UK. Well, while all these fights are going on at the Apex Center and over in overseas in Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi, Leon's not a part of any of this.
No.
So now guys like Kobe Covington, Kamaru Usman, Jorge Masvidal, Gilbert, all these other guys ascend. Leon is like, what about me, guys? What about me?
Disregarding.
Exactly.
Who are you?
Didn't have the big personality. He had been gone out of sight for a while. Kind of like, if you think about it, Kobe Covington. Remember, his fight style wasn't necessarily the most entertaining. And while Leon Edwards is a stand-up guy, he's not an aggressive stand-up fighter. He doesn't necessarily try to go for it. More technical. I'm going to set you up. I'm going to set traps. I'm going to pick you apart if I can put you away. Cool. But he's not a guy that's going to go out there and throw haymakers at you, spinning back kicks, flying knees, elbows. That's for John Jones, the greatest MMA fighter of all times. But that's not Leon's game. So with that, you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, we haven't seen you fight. Last couple fights ain't that good. So the disrespect he was receiving, while unjust, it's like, well, you're going to have to prove it at some point. At some point, you're going to need a performance. Boy, did he ever give that.
Absolutely. And then it was playing into all the disrespect. I mean, all the disrespect he was getting. I mean, going into that fight with Usman, their second fight, he looked through 4 rounds like, oh, this is the same old typical stuff. Usman's going to beat another guy, get another title victory, title defense, and it is what it is. But that head kick changed everything. And now going into this third fight, I think, yes, it's easy to look at Leon Edwards and still have doubts and still, not really see him going out there and getting that first title defense. But I look at Edwards and I think to myself, here's a guy who went through all that, all the disrespect, he was still winning despite of it. He was still working his way. He was getting disregarded by guys like Khamzat Chimaev was talking about he might want to fight him. That never happened.
That almost happened.
Masvidal pieced him up in the back of an interview, and still to this day we still quote him.
Three-piece in a soda.
Three-piece in a soda. And it's just, he withstood all of that. And just for that perfect moment after that kick, and you could, like, you see it in the post-fight interviews in the cage, the emotions that were coming out of him.
It was awesome.
The happiness, the joy. You could see just how much he had been through. And a guy like that, a fighter who's coming in, a championship fighter, a champion fighter, coming into this fight, a guy who's able to withstand all of that, who still held his head high, who still saw a vision to where he wanted to go, and he got there, that has to have some level of respect. And you have to think, he's fought him twice, he's got one win, one loss. Who knows? Maybe he gets it done a second time.
Maybe he does. I mean, this is going to be a great opportunity in his backyard. This is a guy that comes from Jamaica, didn't have the best upbringing, went through a lot of turmoil as a kid.
Streets of the UK, baby.
Moves to the UK, gets in more trouble there, but then finds solace in fighting in a weird way. And that's why, like, not to get too deep into it, but in some ways you do think, like, yes, no one's forcing you to fight. Like Dana White would say about fighter pay. No one's forcing you to do this. But you gotta understand, for so many of us, this was a way out. Especially if you're not coming necessarily from the U.S., where a lot of guys are coming from collegiate wrestling, amateur wrestling, and diving into here. A lot of us didn't have those opportunities. Right. So now we find something as boxing, sports, fighting, and mixed martial arts, whatever the case may be, as a way to get us out of this situation into a better one for our livelihood. So you, like you said, you see those emotions, that's everything that he's been through. All the doubters, all the roads. Some fighters will say, I shouldn't be here. And you wonder, like, well, what's going on? Well, you look at the road I had to go through, and some of you guys know it, some of you don't. I shouldn't be here, but I am. So I'm taking advantage of this moment and enjoying this opportunity. Excuse me. But you look at it and you say, okay, well, Leon, you got the one big shot on Kamaru Usman. Now, some say it's luck. Some people say luck is preparation meets opportunity.
Yep.
Can he do it again? Like I said, they fought for 8 rounds. 8 rounds, 25 plus 15, 40 minutes. Public school in the inner city, so forgive me.
Sir.
For 40 minutes, about 36 of those, Usman was in control.
Yeah, he was.
So when we look at it and say Usman's a better fighter.
Now, we got to wait till Saturday until we know that. But I will say, Usman, he's interesting when you look at him at this fight. I mean, there were talks before that fight that he was considering retirement, that he's well known his knees are just absolute garbo.
Some of the worst.
Some of the worst
His
knees out
knees
there.
are like Brian Bosworth's shoulders. If you guys don't remember the Boz.
The Boz.
Had what, like 6, they said he had like the shoulders of a 65-year-old war veteran.
Oh, yes.
Like he had horrible shoulders. And you're right. I don't mean to cut you off. Usman even said, it's hard for him to walk on pavement.
Yes.
When he goes out and trains, he has to walk on the grass if they're at the beach to just ease the pain off of it. That's horrible.
That's bad. I mean, I got 3 knee surgeries myself, baby, and that is pain beyond anything else. It is not fun. So now you think to yourself, okay, Usman's already got that mindset that he's not going to be here for long. This was a challenge he didn't see coming on this dominant reign he's had as a champion. He didn't expect to lose to a guy that nobody gave respect towards. He's faced the Covingtons, the Masvidals, the Gilbert Burnses of the welterweight division, and he still ran through those guys. So that loss came out of nowhere, loses his belt, loses it in the final minute of the fight. So now you have to wonder, when they meet in the Octagon in the UK in the O2 Arena on Saturday night there, whatever time it'll be here, if Usman loses, or even if he wins, will we see him back in the Octagon again? Is there anything left in the welterweight division for him to stick around and keep going through that pain and keep putting himself through all the training and the fights?
If he was, well, you know, and going into his last fight, and I will say this, I totally forgot about it going in, but it's a rule that I try to go by when looking at big fights. If you have other projects going on around the same time, you're not ready for the fight. He had Black Panther 2 coming out. Now, granted, his role wasn't as big, but you remember when Rampage Jackson had the 18 coming out?
I do.
When he was fighting with Shad Evans, all the actors showed up for the fight. Huge Rampage fan here, waiting for the fight. And he lays an egg
I remember.
When your mind and your priorities are not 110% in on the fight and on the cage, like Dana White said, if you're half in, half out, you might as well walk away. This is not the sport for you. Now, we say that, and yes, he did lose. Devastating knockout. It was the last 10 seconds, bro.
It was last. It was a freak.
It's like when Chael Sonnen lost to Anderson Silva the first time. I dominated this dude for 24 minutes. The last 30 seconds, I had a scuffle, and he choked me out. But I still dominated the greatest of all time. So I don't know if his mind is somewhere else necessarily. But yeah, you do have to wonder, okay, if I win, he's already said he doesn't want to move up to middleweight and fight his boy Israel Adesanya. Now, Izzy's no longer the champion, but I don't know if he wants troubles with Alex Pereira. Ooh.
Those are problems.
But would it be a new challenge for him to try a different weight class? Yeah, but it'd have to be somebody else holding the title. When he wanted to go straight to 205, that's a huge jump. When you look at 170, who else is there for him? Nobody that jumps to mind right now.
I mean, you got Khamzat Chimaev, but he's such a...
He's still going to middleweight.
He's saying going to middleweight.
105,
We don't know
185 now.
We don't know what's going on with Khamzat. He's everywhere. He's
Yeah, he got the
welterweight,
cliff
middleweight.
lip, hard to understand what he's saying.
It's
He just wants to kill everybody.
He's just talking about killing people. But like, it's so. I mean, that could be something that if maybe that's the motivation enough for him, where he says let's say he beats Edwards on Saturday, gets the belt back. There is that talk of like when you're the GOAT and you really want to be the absolute undisputed GOAT of your sport or your division, you do something where you took out the guys in the beginning of your career, that generation, you took out the generation in the middle where you and all the guys that came up with you are right there at your primes, and then you beat the next generation. You were so dominant, you dominated so many different eras of your weight class. So I mean, maybe it's motivation enough for him to say, okay, I got my belt back. Covington, I already got that done. Edwards is done. I'm gonna stick around maybe to fight this absolute behemoth that's coming at me with a cleft lip and talking about murder.
He's going up to 185, though, so you got to take Khamzat Chimaev out of it. He's saying he wants to stay up there. I mean, if you're looking at the rest of the division for guys he hasn't faced, you got Bilal Muhammad, who's ranked third right now, who's ranked fourth right now. Maybe he goes after it, but does that really get you up for it? I don't necessarily know. You got the gentleman that just won it.
Oh, Shavkat. I mean, Shavkat is an out of nowhere
and that's
prospect.
The problem. Exactly, and that's the thing. Yeah, okay, I can take on the future generation, but these guys are still working their way up there. Like, you got to realize, Kamaru Usman is in that place of, I'm one of the greatest welterweights of all time. Like, literally, it's me and GSP. And depending on who you ask on what day it is, some people say it's me. So I'm in that category where I'm not just going to fight the 10th ranked guy. I'm not going to fight number 12. I'm not going to fight somebody fresh off Dana White Contender Series. So it may not be a lot of challenges for him. Now, granted, if somebody from 155 wants to try to look at 170, if somebody from 185 wants to come down, Robert Whitaker, Kelvin Gastelum, maybe. I don't want to dive into this. I don't. But there's a certain other guy who put his toe in the world of acting and doesn't really have a weight division, but he wants to float around and
unhinged
walk
by
around.
any kind of weight division, unhinged by it. He can go at all.
All I want to know is if you could get by Michael Chandler, which you won't, but let's just say you do. Conor McGregor, Kamaru Usman.
Man, I'm telling you now. Usman doesn't want to see fit Conor. No one wants to see fit Conor. All right, that boy got his wife just rubbing the chest in the middle of the
You have a fever coming down. You have a fever coming down.
I do. I'm turning green. The fever's bad. All right, ole baby, ole.
But ain't no cowbell gonna be able to save you from this one right here. That fever. He don't want to see Kamaru Usman. But first off, he got to get
this
past
old
Michael
Usman.
Chandler.
Michael Chandler,
Second
we will
off,
see. We will see. We still don't even know what weight class these two men are going to fight.
That's what I'm saying. Is that if we don't know the weight class, let's say they land at 170. Kamaru Usman might say, "Hey, you want to be champ? Come on over." But
that option's open if Edwards wins too. I'd say it's even more open.
I think Edwards has to do more.
He'll do more.
He has to beat some of the guys there to kind of get to that level. Yeah, he's the champion, but I think he has to do more. But Conor wouldn't want that either. Nonetheless,
everybody wants that green panty night.
Usman, Edwards, who do you got?
I'm going to learn from my past mistakes, and I am going to show the respect that's due. Pound for pound, headshot, dead. I'm going Edwards.
Ooh, interesting one. Now, here is something. Fighters who get knocked out in the manner in which Kamaru Usman gets knocked out, do they ever bounce back the same? It's tough to see that. But then it's also tough to see if you dominate a fight and you get finished Can you bounce back from that mentally? Chael Sonnen dominated Anderson Silva the first time, lost in the last seconds. There's a rematch, dominated the first round, still lost. Brock Lesnar dominated the early rounds against Frank Mir, got caught. Second one, he beats him. There's no real timetable for it. I think Kamaru Usman going over there, he's motivated.
He is.
He knows he's in Leon's head. I think Leon might fall victim to first champion jitters. All the pressure's on me. It's in my backyard. Everyone's off me. Yeah, you can feed off the energy. But if you get put on your rear end, Hadouken, you gonna be able to get up?
Man.
Because the fans can't come in there and fight for you. I'm taking Kamaru Usman to regain his title.
Okay.
I love Leon Edwards, much respect. But I think Usman just has too many tools in the tool bag.
Okay, that's fair. Rocky's seen that pressure, though, baby. He has seen that pressure. That second fight was all the pressure in the world.
He's seen the pressure, and guess what?
He didn't flinch.
He didn't. No. He didn't flinch, but he was getting his ass whooped.
He was getting his ass whooped while
He
he
was
was
getting
doing
his
it.
ass whooped, and if it wasn't for the last 10 seconds in that motivational speech, might have went the other way. Let's transition to the co-main event.
Yes.
Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev is 12-1 on the come up at lightweight. Justin Gaethje, as we know, one of the most exciting fighters in UFC history in all the mixed martial arts. 10 fights, 9 fights, 10 bonuses.
Yep.
This dude is must see.
He's
Win, lose, or draw, he is must see. He started off his career 18-0. He's 4-5 in the UFC. But I would argue this, Griff. His losses, I don't look at them in a bad way. They've all been wars. He's been tough in either one. And the guys he's lost to, either former champions. Yeah, in fact, they're all former champions.
He lost to. He didn't lose to Cowboy. He beat Cowboy. Who did
He's lost to Oliveira, Poirier,
Khabib.
and Khabib.
That is true. They're champions, you know. I mean,
I want to feel like there might be a. I want to say there might be. I have to look
There's
at
a
his record
big
right
one
now.
I know
but
we're missing.
Nonetheless, these two are going to go at it, and it is going to be WAR war. Talk about it.
and we finally see Gaethje's back. Gaethje. Oh man, I loved the last fight with Justin Gaethje and Charles Oliveira because Oliveira did exactly what I thought he was going to do, and that was expose Justin Gaethje. Now, I ain't saying anything bad on the man's name. Gaethje is a absolute hell of a fighter, all right? He was an interim welterweight or interim lightweight champion. That is nothing to scoff at. He's had the battles he's had. The fight alone with just him and Dustin Poirier, even though it was a loss, and him and Michael Chandler, beautiful war. Like you said, he's great for the UFC. He's great for the brand, but is he great for himself? Is Justin Gaethje doing the best things for himself? I mean, the fight with Khabib, I remember watching that fight. I was there in my living room watching that fight.
I was about to say, you was there?
I was there in Abu
Wait a
Dhabi.
minute now. We got to talk about that one, Griff, but okay, go ahead.
I was
go ahead.
there watching it, and I just remember seeing him get tapped in that second round and Khabib just dominating him on the ground. And all I could think back in my head was, wasn't this the guy who everyone was praising for his wrestling background, for all the skills he has on the ground, just to get dominated and look worse against Khabib than Conor McGregor boy did? Yes.
His ground game is like Chuck Liddell's ground game. Like, yeah, he wrestled, but he doesn't wrestle when he fights.
And now Chucky Liddell, that's a Cal Poly alumni. That's Cal Poly greatness right there. We don't disrespect Liddell on this.
Hold on.
show.
What did I say that was disrespectful?
No, man, they got a plaque of this man in every
did I say that
room
was
over there.
disrespectful?
Man, you got it. Nothing, anything bad.
No,
Anything,
no.
even slightly disregarding his
Griff,
wrestling.
No. What you not hearing?
You're saying he doesn't
You
use the
listening, but
skills.
you're not hearing.
You're saying he doesn't use the skills.
Name a fight where Chuck Liddell used his wrestling skills. Name any Griff.
He ain't
name
known
a
for
fight.
it. He was known for those goddamn.
Money. Name a fight where he used wrestling. Don't look at the amount. Don't look at the amount.
That's a dollar bill and an envelope. with a
First
key in it.
off, hold on. In the envelope, hold on, Damon. Hold on.
Let's
Doing
see.
this like a damn reveal.
Okay. Oh,
$20.
$20.
$21. Name a fight where he used wrestling.
I mean,
And I mean use it. I ain't talking about get a shaky trip for a takedown. Name a fight.
you know, I mean, he was kind of wrestling with it with that chin towards the end. but-
Exactly. That give me my money.
It's just
Exactly. So it's the same thing with Justin Gaethje. It's a hype thing to build up a fight. Gaethje does have the wrestling background, which we thought would help him, but he doesn't utilize
Never,
it.
ever
He does-
utilizes it.
Just like your boy, he doesn't utilize jiu-jitsu. When's the last time Conor went for a submission? He doesn't use it. even though-
submissions. No.
He never went for one. But just stay on topic.
You okay?
But that's the thing. He doesn't utilize it. He has it as a background, but doesn't utilize it. So for Gaethje, let's not knock him for not doing good on the mat against one of the best of all time when he doesn't use it at all. He wants to sting and bang. He wants to go to war. He wants to bleed. He wants to knock you out or get knocked out. I'm either taking you out or I'm going out on my shield. But either way, I'm must-see TV, baby.
Absolutely. But then that's kind of like the argument people have with Michael Chandler. Everyone kind of looks at Michael Chandler and what he's done so far in the UFC.
Stay on co-main event.
Yes, I am. I promise you. I promise you.
Stir it back this way.
I'm telling you. They're saying Michael Chandler fights in a way where it's more exciting. People love the striking, all right? People will watch a title fight, and if it's wrestling the whole time and grappling on the ground, they'll be upset. But if it's a striking war, they love it. And so they know, the fighters know this. And Michael Chandler's even hinted, saying like, oh, I like to fight this way because I love giving the fans what they want. I'm must-see TV. And I don't think that's Justin Gaethje's mindset. I think Justin Gaethje really has the mindset of, I'm just a savage. I'm a savage. I'm more savage than anyone who's standing in front of me, and I'm going to stand and bang with them because they can't take it the way I can. And that's great. But look what's happening. Your 2 shots at the belt, you got submitted because your ground game wasn't there to defend and get you out of those situations.
It was against 2 of the best of all time. I mean, Habib and Charles Oliveira. Yeah. But this ain't going to be no ground game most likely because Rafael Aziz, he comes to fight. He brings his lunch pail, straps up his boots, and says, "Let's go, brother." He's another brother. He's another one that comes from the mountains, loves the bang. He's one of those where you say, for Justin Gaethje, almost must win, but not so much.
Kind of must win. I mean, with the way the lightweight division is set up right now, we got a champ in Islam, and he just got done with his war with Volk. So now it's kind of the lightweight division is starting to set up right now for Islam to see, can he go on a run or is the belt going to switch?
And that's what I'm saying. For Gaethje, it's kind of a must-win if he wants to stay in that pack of fighters, but not so much because he is so exciting. You know he's not going to be the opening fight of the prelim. But if he loses, it'll take his name out of it because Fazie's a step up above him. Yes. All the other guys that Islam hasn't faced yet, Dustin Poirier, your boy and Chandler, those 2, regardless of how that falls out. And then you also got
Oliveira and Dariush are coming up.
Dariush, that's what I was trying to think of. So Gaethje kind of needs this win to stay in that particular pack. He's got other options outside this, but Fazie's is an absolute monster. He is a trained assassin. This dude comes to bring it. This will be his biggest fight of his career. Last outing against RDA, a former champion. Speaking of which, Justin Gaethje also lost to Eddie Alvarez. That's
what it was. Eddie Alvarez.
But what is Eddie Alvarez, though? A former champion. Let's not talk about who he lost the belt to. We get it. We won't mention that. But like I said, he's only lost to a former champion.
Yes.
Fazie's beat a former champion, beat Bobby Green. He's shown tremendous growth. So now he goes in there against Gaethje. Can he stand toe-to-toe with someone who only stands toe-to-toe? Yes. Can he stand the pressure and rise above it? Will Gaethje be too much for him? Because remember, Gaethje also throws horrific leg kicks. I mean, chop them down.
He's going to chop you, brother.
That's going to be a lot of fun. So I like Gaethje in this particular one. I think he's been in there with so many big-time fighters. I don't know. That experience to me is just going to be a little bit too much for Fazie's. But then again, we've seen young fighters come in and show, I'm here, brother. Especially from Dagestan, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, all of it. Yes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Who do you like in this one?
Oh, man. I mean, for one fighter, for Fazie's, this is his first test. This is going to be a test for him to say, okay, there's a select group that's going to be considered for this title and this long run of this long war of the lightweight division to see who's going to be competing for belts and who's not. This is his test to see if he gets to put his name in there. And no harder test than going against the highlight, Gaethje. But then for Gaethje, it's also a test. Like you said, do you want to be in this circle? Do you have what it takes to be in this circle to be considered? Islam is a freak second coming of Khabib. You got Dustin Poirier, all the names in lightweight. It's still one of the best divisions in the UFC. And so now Gaethje, this is a test. And if he can get it done, he'll be good. And that could even set up a potential fight with Poirier.
So who do you like? You're beating around the bush here.
Last fight, I'm gonna show some fairness. Last time around, I did pick Oliveira to win that fight. I was right. I'm gonna go with Gaethje this time. Gaethje's gonna get back on the winning streak, and he is gonna get ready to go against this war at lightweight.
UFC 286, Leon Edwards defends the welterweight championship against Kamaru Usman. Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fazie's in the co-main event. We also got Gunnar Nelson, Brian Barbereno going at it. We got Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill on here. Marlon Vittori is going to be on the card. It is going to be a stack. It is going to be war. Over in the UK, check your local listings for showtimes. I believe here is going to be 2 p.m. Pacific, so 5 p.m. for the main card,
Around that
Eastern
time.
Standard Time. You guys be sure to check it out. Thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for all your love of sports. Till next time, fight fans.
Peace.